in the place. Da-na-na-na, Mac and Perry.
Go live to create.
Da-na-na-na, Mac and Perry. Invite you to stay.
Hello and welcome once again to Tell Us Story Hives on location in Lethbridge. My name is Daniel J. Perryman. I'm a local theatre and filmmaker here in Southern Alberta, Treaty 7, Métis Nation Region 3. And this is my co-host,
Michael Bartz. I make short films and podcasts about environmental sustainability. I'm also in Lethbridge. And this is...
Arianna Richardson, an artist from Lethbridge, Alberta.
Love it. Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us and also invite us into your space. We're here at the McNally Community Center. I got that right?
Yeah.
Perfect. In your studio. And we're on this amazing couch cushion thing, which I really love. Our first segment here is just to kind of get to know you a little bit. The kind of person behind the art, as it were. And first thing on the agenda is just some trivia. How are you with trivia typically?
Great.
Great? Okay, awesome. I love the confidence. Let's do it. I'll have a piece of trivia for you here. And then we have some secret trivia that Michael and I have prepared. So we'll see how that goes. But my first piece of trivia for you, Arianna, is what is the oldest business in Lethbridge? Is it A, Balog Auction Services, B, the Penny Coffee House, C, Lethbridge Iron Works, or D, McKillop Insurance?
Wow, I was going to say Nakagamas, but that's not on there.
No.
I'm going to say the Balog Auction House.
Ooh, A, unfortunately that's incorrect.
No.
It was C, Lethbridge Iron Works, founded in
wow.
1898. The more you know.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
The more you know. I don't know if I knew that before reading it, honestly, so there you go.
I'll file that away.
Yeah, and I think you have a piece of trivia for Michael that I've prepared.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
So Michael, Daniel has a hand-whittled miniature of which animal on his desk? A, a bear, B, a raccoon, C, a flamingo, or D, a platypus?
Ooh, well, I know he does love raccoons. I know there is a flamingo painting made by Cindy at his house. I'm going to go with pretty solid guess, raccoon, Arianna.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
You're right.
Nice.
Good.
And bonus points for remembering the flamingo and Cindy.
It was yesterday.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. I guess I have a bit of trivia for you about Lethbridge this time. So, Arianna, Lethbridge's motto is A, a place to grow, B, bridging communities, C, the Windy City, or D, gateway to opportunity. What do you think?
I think it's D.
Gateway to opportunity?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yay.
Nice. Nicely done.
Good.
I would have gone with the Windy City,
Right.
personally. But yeah.
And now I have another trivia.
You sure
right?
do.
Okay.
And that's
for
for
Daniel.
me. Uh-oh.
Okay. So this is from Michael. My artistic practice includes the investigation of ubiquitous consumption and waste. Several years ago, that was supposed to be for me. Sorry. Several years ago, Michael worked with Environment Lethbridge to produce a series of comedic scripted videos around food waste. Daniel had a cameo in one of the scenes. What was the title of this piece?
Oh, no.
Do you remember? A, The Vow.
Okay.
B, Expired. C, Leftover Loser. Or D, To Die For.
I remember a few of those, but I'm pretty sure it's B, Expired.
You're right.
Yay. Yeah, I got to climb into an airplane.
Cool.
I didn't get to fly it, but thank goodness.
A World War II biplane was sweet.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
very cool.
Yeah, so I'm glad I remembered the title of that. Nice, awesome. There you go. That's trivia. Our next little mini game is this or that. So we'll just pick something out of the hat and see what our preferences are, and we'll all answer. So I'll let you do the honors and go first, and just read out whatever you pick.
Okay. Truck or car?
Truck or car? I would have to go with car, personally, just by virtue of that's the only thing I've really driven, and I don't have the interest or really need for a truck, so that's where I land on that. How about you, Michael?
That's a good question. Thank you for asking. I would say probably car generally. Like, I don't drive a ton, but if I have to drive, I have a little car, pretty fuel efficient. And if I really need it, I've got my dad's truck I can borrow, but usually a car. How about you, Arianna?
Well, I kind of have an in-betweener. I've got like an SUV right now. It's kind of a truck car. But I usually am a car person.
Yeah.
Just historically.
Serves your needs.
Yeah.
Nice.
I serve my needs.
Okay, let's see what else we got. We've got build it or buy it.
I'm a build it.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's an easy one. Nice. Yeah. Have you always been that way?
Pretty much, yeah. Ever since I've like had skills.
Yeah.
So, for a long time, I've been like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think for myself, I would like to say build it, but I don't know if that's true. Unfortunately, I think I probably buy it more often than I build it. And that's okay. I don't have the skills you do.
Yeah.
How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I would definitely be a build it person. I built my own off-grid tiny house, so I like to build things. And yeah, it's just more fun, and sometimes you can modify things and change things. So love building stuff. It's my jam.
Nice. Awesome. Will you do the honors and pick another one?
What are we going to get? Let's see. Early bird or night owl?
Yeah, we talked about this briefly before we started. I am definitely a night owl. Like as long as I can remember, I've always been a night owl. I think I'd probably get it from my dad. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like the peace and quiet at night. Everybody's like doing their thing. It's just like some sense of solace in that for me, I guess. And yeah. How about you, Michael?
I'm definitely a morning person, Daniel. Yeah, I like to get up early. I almost went climbing this morning at 7 a.m. Let's do it. Start the day off climbing. It's one of my favorite things to do. So definitely a morning person. How about you, Arianna?
I would have to lean more towards night owl. Although I do get up in the morning, so I don't stay up that late. But if I had my preference, I'd be sleeping in. Yeah.
Sleeping in is, I can attest, it's great.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll maybe do one or two more of these. Let's see what this one is. Fly or drive?
Well, if I could personally fly with my body, I would choose that.
Okay, yeah.
But that's not really a thing, so I would choose drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the SUV.
Yeah.
Nice. I think for myself, I would probably go with fly as well. I don't know. This is just crazy. Like when you actually think about it, like it's actually crazy that we can even do that. And it would be even crazier if we could do it with our own being. So yeah, I would say fly. Yeah. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I didn't think of the flying yourself, but I would say probably drive, I guess, depending on how far I'm going. I like a good road trip and put some music on, and yeah, that's always fun. So I'm going to go with drive today. That's my choice.
Nice. We'll do one more of these.
Okie dokie. Eclectic or modern?
Eclectic or modern? I think I'm like a weird in between. I don't know. I don't know that I'm either necessarily, but if I had to choose, because that is the point of the game, I guess. Michael's nodding his head. I would go with eclectic for some reason right now. I don't know. I'm just thinking of like my home in England, my old home. I don't live there anymore. Yeah, no. And I don't know. There's just that nostalgia, and yeah, like everything has a meaning to it, or yeah. So I go with eclectic.
Nice.
How about you?
I'm firmly in the eclectic camp. Yeah, for sure.
Have you always been that way? Grew up that way, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I would go with modern. I think it's just more modern aesthetic is what I go for. That's just me.
Yeah. Right on. Awesome.
Cool.
I'll take that from you. And we'll move swiftly along to our last little mini game, tumbling towers. So yeah, each block corresponds to a question. Ideally, we don't pick from the top 3 rows.
Yes.
And then you can totally feel around and just see if there's a loose one, and then pop it on top. I'll let you do the honors. Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice. You got it.
11. Oh, no, 12, actually.
12. Okie dokie. 12 is, do you have any hidden talents that maybe don't come out in your artistic practice, for example, but that people might not know when they meet you?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I'm pretty open about my talents.
Yeah, no, that's super fair. I can also go first. I mean, like,
yeah, you go first.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't train it, but at one point I got really into beatboxing.
Oh, fun.
So like I can beatbox a little bit. Don't ask me to do it right now, but I would probably have to. But yeah, that would be a hidden talent for me, I guess. But I don't like practice. I'm not like I do this. But yeah, how about you, Michael? Anything come to mind?
Hidden talents. Nothing that's super hidden. I guess something I don't do as much anymore, but I taught myself to unicycle juggle. So that was super fun.
That's fun.
Can you still do it?
I probably could.
Okay.
Up I go. No.
Yeah.
I guess that's less. We'll call that a hidden talent now.
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought of my hidden talent.
Nice.
I'm really good at seeing if things are not level. And I'll be like, it's a 1/4 inch not level. And then we'll measure it and it's a 1/4 inch. I've got like a laser eye.
Yeah.
So.
And that probably comes in useful in your work too,
It
right?
does.
Yeah.
It does.
Nice.
But not many people know about it because I'm not really doing that activity with many people.
Right. Nice. Awesome. Let's see what else we got. We'll go low. Yeah. Let's take that one. And that is number 16. Who is someone who inspires you, either in your work or everyday life, when you were young, current, fictional, non-fictional?
One of my biggest inspirations was the head technician at the university when I went to do my BFA there, named Catherine Ross. She's an artist in Lethbridge. And she said something to me that I just like really hit home, and I've always thought about it. And she said, you can be as talented as God's little finger, but if you don't persevere and do the work, you'll never be successful. So it's kind of like using your more like a brass tacks sort of approach rather than like I'm just talented and that's why I'm successful. It's like no, it's like I'm doing stuff, doing things, the boring things, make it actually happen. So.
Yeah. And kind of honoring that journey as well, and that you are putting in the time, or you have to put in the time in order to maybe see the results that you want, or that I think people generally want. It's like, no, you can't just, pick up a pencil and draw something incredible. You got to put in the time. So.
Yeah, and kind of like demystifying talent in a way, making it like it's actually more about hard work than just only talent. So it kind of gave me hope, like, oh, maybe if I'm not that talented, I can still do a good job.
And that was Catherine
Ross.
Catherine Ross. Nice.
Sculptor.
Nice.
Hey, Catherine.
Yeah. Nice. For myself, someone who inspires me would be my high school drama teacher, as often they do inspire people. I played sports before I found theater, and she showed me many similarities between the two, although people might not think that. And so I owe the kind of passion I have for what I do now in many ways to her. So shout out to Robin McIntyre. I will throw it real quick to Michael.
Sure, yeah. I was thinking about it as you guys were talking. I'm kind of just in this environmental feeling today. So my person that's inspired me her name is Cheryl Bradley. She's a retired botanist, but super active in the environmental world and always writing letters and signing petitions, and she's always doing stuff like that. So she retired many years, but still at it. So really appreciate her hustle. Yeah, that's my person.
Awesome.
Nice. Should I do one more?
I'll let you do the honors. Yeah. Nicely
Number
done.
29.
29. Let's see what we got.
Ooh, I don't want it to tumble.
It's only ever tumbled once, I think, and I bring it up every time. It was Michael. Anyway, what's an artist that you could listen to on repeat? Or even just like a genre that you typically enjoy. I know my mind sometimes goes blank when I'm asked specific artists, but I'll go first. An artist that I love is called Russ. He's an independent artist. He's rap singer-songwriter, and so just that he's independent. He owns all the stuff he's made, and he's found quite a bit of success. I don't know him personally, of course, but yeah, I just appreciate that about what he's done. So putting in that hard work and not just relying on talent.
Yeah.
Do you need a second? Or?
No, I'm good. I am a chronic repeat artist. I obsessively listen to things. And lately I've been obsessed with this band called The Vapors. This album they made in the 80s.
Okay.
It's the best.
Nice.
That's all.
Yeah. Nice, yeah. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I think just off the top of my head, what comes to mind is an artist I really like, Lethbridge-based artist, John Hannon, and he's a folk singer. And yeah, I just really like his stuff. He's very poetic and could always listen to his music. So that would be my choice for sure.
Nice. Right on. Okay, let's see what else we get. Uh-oh. 2 for 1. Okay, and it is number 2. Okay, what does your perfect day look like? Maybe sleeping in, it sounds like. I know, it's a big, broad question. It could just be like bullet point things.
Oh, I love a perfect day. Okay, so I would sleep in, wake up naturally, 10, 11 maybe, we'll see. Have some coffee, pet my cats, and, probably eat a big, beautiful breakfast, and go to multiple thrift stores and find treasures at every one. That would be ideal. Maybe come out here, look at the sky, have a beautiful sky day, and then maybe go see a band at the Slice or something and stay up all night and laugh with my friends and go to bed. That would be my perfect day.
Nice. That sounds awesome. That sounds amazing. My perfect day would actually mirror that quite a bit. I would love to sleep in, have a fantastic breakfast. I don't have cats. I would love to steal one of Michael's cats, and then I could pet that. But and then just like work on creative stuff. Maybe catch a movie. I love movies. And probably end up staying up later than I maybe should, because that's just how I exist. How about you, Michael?
So my perfect day, I'd start by doing my taxes.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm kind of similar to Arianna. I would probably, even though I'm a morning person, I'd probably sleep in a little bit. And a nice relaxing morning, having a coffee. I always love like brunch, so it's like making like a big brunch would be great. And also like hiking in the mountains. So maybe that day going out for a hike in the mountains, seeing some nature, and then come back home and watch a movie or something. Chill out. So that would kind of be one of my perfect days.
Nice. Awesome. We'll try one more and see what we get.
That one is really speaking to me. We'll see what it corresponds with. Number 3.
Oh, number 3. What is your favorite film or genre of film or TV shows, whatever happens to come to mind?
My favorite film. I love Home Alone.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
Or there's another one called Party Monster with Macaulay. They're both Macaulay Culkin.
Okay.
That's hilarious. It's like about the 80s club kid scene. There's like a murder, and I don't know. It's pretty great sets and costumes and music.
Yeah. Are you like one of those people that watches Home Alone at Christmas? It's a Christmas movie, right? Yeah. Okay.
It's a Christmas movie.
Nice.
Watch it probably a couple times at Christmas.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nice. I think for myself, I love, one of my favorite movies is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, directed by Ben Stiller. I just love it. I don't know. I could watch it several times. I just always get something new from it. So, yeah. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, favorite movie's hard. So I'm going to say a movie that I really enjoyed recently that I watched. It's called To Die For, which is actually one of the trivia things. Mid-90s, Nicole Kidman. And I really liked it because they actually mixed, it's loosely based on a true story, but it's like documentary style, but then also more of a traditional film, but it's all fictional. So I just really like that style of storytelling. So really enjoyed that one, To Die For.
Yeah, nice. Well, this segment has been To Die For. Thank you so much for your time and energy. This has been Tell Us Story Hives on location in Lethbridge. I'm Daniel J. Perryman, local filmmaker and theater maker here in town. This is my co-host,
Michael Bartz. I make short films and podcasts about environmental sustainability, and this is
Arianna Richardson, a sculptor from Lethbridge.
Yes, awesome. We will be right back. Welcome back to Tell Us Story Hives on location in Lethbridge. I'm Daniel J. Perryman, local theatre and filmmaker here in Southern Alberta. This is my co-host,
Michael Bartz. I make short films and podcasts about environmental sustainability, and our guest today is
Arianna Richardson.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time and energy in the icebreakers. It was lovely just to get to know you a little bit more. But yeah, we're going to dive into our interview with you and just kind of hear a bit more about your artistic journey and the stuff you've done. But I do want to read a bio from you, just because you've done a lot of awesome stuff. So for people at home there, Arianna Richardson is a sculptor and performance artist based in Lethbridge, Alberta, whose work has been exhibited across Canada. Her practice revolves around collecting discarded materials and putting them to use in absurd, highly decorative sculptures. Arianna has her BFA in Studio Arts from our very own University of Lethbridge. And she has her MFA in sculpture from NSCAD University in Halifax. On top of her artistic practice, she not only works as lead preparator at the Southern Alberta Art Gallery, shout out to SAG, but also as a sessional instructor at the University of Lethbridge. You are a high-achieving individual, is what I got from doing some research on you, which is awesome. So yeah, it's a real privilege to be here with you and in your studio space. Yeah, so I guess if we consider your artistic journey, if we go like as far back as we can, what would be an example of like your oldest kind of memory of engaging with art, either doing it or just experiencing it?
Well, when I was a little kid, I always did crafts with my mom. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
And I have this really vivid memory of kind of the first time I was really proud of making something. And I had, you know, those little like plastic step stool things. So I had one of those in my room for whatever reason. And I had a bunch of Play-Doh and I like I drew a scene basically with Play-Doh on top of this stool. It's like a girl and, you know, sky and flowers. And I just remember feeling so proud about that. And it's in my mind, so it makes me almost tear up.
Yeah.
So cheesy.
No.
But it was really, I don't know. I've always got a lot of joy out of making things.
Yeah, and like, was that something that your folks like encouraged or like fostered in you, or was it just something you were just drawn to?
I think I was drawn to it. My mom is really crafty. She's got like a crafty streak. And they encouraged it a bit. Like they didn't have a lot of money. So I think, you know, giving me some paper and scissors and glue and being like, have at her was, you know, easy for them to do.
Totally. Yeah. Nice. And what would be an example of something after that? Maybe after you'd grown up a little bit?
I think in high school, I really got into taking the art classes. And then I had a show. They have like the Arts Alive and Well in schools here in Lethbridge. It's like a long-standing relationship with the school districts and the SAG. I think it's like 40 years or something. They do it every year. So my work was included in that. I think I was like in grade 3. And then later in high school, I had a few pieces in the show and I felt pretty awesome. It was probably my first time even going to the SAG and I had a show there. This is amazing. I'm so cool.
Yeah.
So
do you remember what did that feel like at that age? Do you recall like that feeling? What was that like?
It was exciting. It was, you know, it was like, wow, maybe this is something I'm good at. Because I was never good at sports. I was always good at school, but that's not very exciting to be like, oh, well, I can do math. But I was never good at sports or anything like that. Too shy for drama or choir or anything like that. So, yeah, art making was just where I found my jam.
Yeah, and that sounds like would that have been the first example of you kind of sharing your art publicly, whereas the first piece that you made with the Play-Doh you said was like just for your folks and yourself, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was. I think it probably was the first time I had shown work to other people and had other people kind of validate it in that way.
Yeah, nice. And do you feel like any of the themes, like even from the first piece or that piece, that you are still kind of play with to this day?
Probably not. There's probably some things carrying forward, like colors, and the piece at the SAG was like a really intricately beaded painting. So kind of using sewing is a common theme.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think the value is of those kind of programs? Like, I don't know, if you had to try and sum it up, like, what do you think you got out of that, and like the value of a program like that is?
I think it's highly valuable. Like, to be a teenager and have your work shown in an internationally renowned gallery is wicked. And they still do it. Sorry, my voice is getting clogged up.
Yeah.
Hopefully they edit that out.
Yeah. Do you need some water?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the value of it is like immeasurable for a lot of students. And I, as the lead preparator at SAG, now I'm like putting the children's art up on the walls, and I just every time remember, you know, like I was in the show and I thought it was really cool. So I imagine those kids all feel the same way, and it's a nice thing. And to think of it being like 40 years long.
Part of that legacy and creating that history. Yeah. I mean, what is that like? Kind of, I mean, we're jumping forward a bit there, but like, what is that like for you as an adult with your own artistic practice, and like kind of on the other side of that experience that you had when you were younger and putting up those pieces? Yeah,
it's just really full circle. It just feels really grounded, like in this place in Lethbridge, because it all, you know, happened here, and just feel really fortunate to have such a great arts community here, and I get to be part of it.
Yeah, nice. And yeah, you grew up in Lethbridge, is that right? Yeah. So I guess like one of the questions I had for you is like, what role do you feel Lethbridge has played? Like either like literally, like geographically in your artistic journey, or otherwise? And especially when you were younger, like where you're like, this place is crazy, or was there a point where you're like, there's not a lot happening here? Or, what was that like?
Well, I think I kind of hated Lethbridge when I was young. And I was like, this place is boring, there's nothing going on, blah blah blah, you know. But I've come really to appreciate Lethbridge. I think the art community is really strong here because it's small, and you kind of have to support each other and, you know, go out to things that are happening, because if you don't go, maybe they won't happen anymore. So if you want nice things in your city, you have to support them, right? Yeah. So I think that attitude is really strong here, and people are excited to see other people doing things. It's not like I'm maybe in a big city, it's more like a jaded attitude. Here it's like still nice.
Can't afford to be jaded, maybe, like
And geographically, like, it's a beautiful place to live. I love living here. The sky is incredible. The sky's been really an inspiration for my practice lately, like over the last year. And it's like a treat every single day to look up and see something different throughout the day.
Wonderful. And yeah, so like, you know, when you were a teenager there in high school, I think you said, with that first show at SAG, do you feel like that would you classify that as like the start of your artistic journey or practice? Or what came next after that then?
Well, I was like, I have to go to university, so, you know, family pressures or whatever to do that. So I was like, well, I'll do art history, because that maybe seems like it could end up in a job. So I went to the U of L and started doing art history as a degree. And as part of that, you have to take a couple of studio classes. And then when I did that, I found like I just loved it so much more. And I was like, maybe I could actually do this. Maybe I could actually just take art and not have to do the art history part, where you have to go to class at 9 a.m. and, you know, write papers. And
you were still a night owl, or you were a night owl growing up?
Yeah. So it was like a 9 a.m. class was kind of maybe a deciding factor for me, the clock. But I would say it started then, and then I switched my major to just studio art and just pursued that. And I just got really passionate about it. Got a studio, and, you know, had my first show in 2009 at the Petit Trianon downtown. So I feel like that to me was the first time where it was like, this is something I did. I did all this by myself. I didn't, you know, like in high school, the SAG show, it's like that was an assignment still. Right. That just like chosen. So although I felt super proud, it wasn't like my own thing where like I made something of nothing and made a whole show, and people came and said it was awesome. And that was my first one.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that a little bit more. But just before that, I'm always curious of like, you know, who would your inspirations have been during that time, like either through high school or, you know, into the start of university and switching your majors there? Like, what kind of inspirations did you have? Like, yeah, was it people, or was it just like music, or just family, or?
Probably like music and kind of pop culture, DIY aesthetic sort of stuff. But as far as people inspiring me, my art high school teacher, Brent Hogan, was like he inspired me to like kind of use humor and kind of not be so serious, which is something I've carried forward forever. And then when I went to university and met these instructors and professors like Denton Fredrickson and Nick Wade, Marianne McTrow, like everyone there was just so welcoming and excited, and they inspired me and encouraged me. And then I was like, this is actually a possibility, and I can just do this. Whereas before it seemed like, you know, growing up, it's like, who's an artist? It's like Andy Warhol. It's like, well, I'm not that. That's in the past. And it just seemed unachievable from Lethbridge, where it's like Lethbridge is nothing like New York or Pittsburgh or, you know.
Nice.
But meeting real artists who've made a life of making art and teaching art, it's like that really inspired me.
Yeah, keep going. Nice. And then, yeah, so like your first show there at the Trianon, you mentioned like you kind of made that from nothing, and it was like really from you, your first kind of taste of that. Yeah, what do you remember from that? What can you tell me about that piece?
Well, I was really into collecting things, which I still am. So I found this like crazy piece in the alley, a wire mattress, like a coil mattress, but it was just the wires. Everything else was gone for some reason. Like it wasn't burnt or anything. I don't know what happened to it. It was just like this coil structure, queen size or double or something. And I don't know what, I just had some sort of vision about it. And I was like, I'm going to stuff this with tinsel strands. And so then I just spent months collecting tinsel strands like everywhere, like thousands, millions, so many. And yeah, I was really proud of that piece. It just felt, and I still am, like it's at the Slice. It's hanging above the dance floor at the Slice. And it's, whenever I'm there and I'm dancing under that thing, I'm like, this is my masterpiece. And I'm still obsessed with it. So that piece for me in that whole show was just, I look fondly upon it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to look for that the next time I go to the Slice. Oh my gosh. And then, so this idea of like recycling and like finding all these resources, it sounds like that came in right away there, right? Because that was going to be a question. It's like, when did that become a thing for you? Was it always a thing, like even in high school, or was that kind of like your first, real like shot at integrating that into your practice and your work?
It's been there from the start, basically. I think like growing up with not any money, it's like we shopped at the thrift store, and I was always like so embarrassed about it and wanted to like make it look like I didn't shop at the thrift store. And then eventually, I don't know what happened, but I just like found the vintage clothes section. I was like, wow, these clothes are wicked. Like these are so fun and exciting, and it's only available here. So I got really into that and really into the thrift store and all kind of the treasures you can find there, and just thinking of the material history and how unique everything is, and thinking like who owned it. Got really into that at like high school age. And then just as an art student, like not having much money to find materials, like building canvases and buying paint is expensive. So I was like, well, I'm just going to start looking in the alley, looking in the garbage, see what I can find. I've always been really intrigued by objects, and I maybe don't even know why, but I just feel really drawn to something, and that like the reason why or the purpose of it, or it's where it ends up, kind of makes itself apparent after time.
Yeah, and that you don't need that reason to begin with. There's just something that you don't have the answer for it, but you're willing to put the time in with it and find it or create it.
Yeah, I got that impulse, and then I just like trust it and go with it, and that's been good for me. It's been generative.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I would love to honestly actually just touch on really quick, like just that idea of you know, maybe it sounded like you started shopping, like thrifting, out of maybe some sense of necessity and whatnot. And I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, but I think like that's such a real thing. And so I just want to even just acknowledge it, and like, I just think people might relate to that. And that, yeah, like there may have been that sense of shame or guilt that is completely unfounded, but it happens like to people. And I don't know if you have any other insights or thoughts on that, but how you work through it.
Especially as a teenager, it's like as a teenager, all you want to do at junior high is like fit in, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be sticking out. You don't want to be the weird one, or at least I didn't.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of young people don't. And it just, at a certain point, it's like, well, maybe I am weird, and that's fine. And the thrift store, like and now looking at it, it's like, there's so much stuff there. Like there's no need to buy something brand new, basically. Like there's very few instances where it's like, I have to buy this new. There's always something there that you need. And I just really buy into that philosophy, even though as a young person, I was not into it, but I really see the value in it now.
And it sounds like, I mean, in some ways, it sounds like by leaning into it, like you actually found a sense of power and like, or empowered, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Totally, yeah. Kind of, yeah, taking ownership of it, being like, yeah, I shop at the thrift store. Look at this shirt from 1970. Isn't it wicked?
Yeah. Nice. And then, yeah, so this show at the Trianon, you mentioned some reactions from people. Do you remember any like distinct reactions? Or are there any reactions that you received from the slice when it's up there? How often do people know or recognize
Some
it?
people, I don't remember who this person was. It was someone I didn't know, but my friend knew them, and they were like moving away or something, and they made a miniature version of my tinsel bed. It's called Tinsel Tick, by the way. So they made a mini version of it, like an homage to it, because they loved it so much.
Okay.
And then I heard about it, and I was like, what? That was mind-blowing. Because it's just there, and it's strange. Like it has pillows on it. It looks like a bed hanging from the ceiling. I don't know. I've always kind of made strange, absurd objects, so I think people wonder about them. They're like, why would you do that? It's a really strange combination of materials to do, and you know, how'd you think of that? I don't know. People liked it. It was a good show. I sold a couple pieces, and I felt pretty proud of that.
That's always good.
Yeah.
And so that was during university, is that right?
Yeah.
And then what came next after that?
What came next? I continued to have shows, and I was really like unstoppable in that way. I was like, I just want to show my work and make stuff, and kind of trying to like exist outside of just the university system. Like I took 7 years to do my BFA. I took it really slow. I always worked and, you know, partied.
Of course.
So I didn't do like 5 classes a semester for 4 years. I just, you know, did it at my own pace and kind of.
Yeah. Could we talk about that? Because I think that is also, like, you also mentioned, like, you know, like either family or societal pressures to like, you go to university. Like, so I experienced that as well. And it's like, and then it's like, and you complete it in this amount of time because that's what you're supposed to do. And so I really appreciate hearing that, because I think, yeah, that just could be valuable to people to hear that, like, it's okay to take your time. So like, what made you take your time, or what do you think you got out of taking your time?
I think I got a lot like of a more enriched experience overall. Like I was able to really like build out like a social life and like a practice outside of school, which has been important for me. I've always kind of had a bit of a rebellious nature, like don't tell me what to do kind of thing. So I think it probably stemmed from that, where it's like, I can't do 5 classes. Like I'm overwhelmed. I can't do this, and I don't want to do it because it's horrible. I don't know how anyone does that, honestly. It's like unbelievable how people can do that. And I've got a pretty high capacity for, you know, doing things, deadlines and being busy and whatever, but it just like, I couldn't do it. And I was accepting of that. I was like, it's okay. I was, you know, paying for it myself with student loans. So it wasn't like anyone was breathing down my neck being like, you need to finish this, or we're cutting you off. Like it was all me, so it didn't really matter.
Interesting. Nice. And yeah, were there any, having taken your time, were there any like challenges during that time that you ran into that come to mind?
Of course, yeah. Challenges.
Yeah.
time, like managing time, and I don't know. It was all pretty good. I wouldn't change it. It was
Awesome.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it made you who you are today. Awesome.
Totally, yeah.
In many ways. Nice. And you also received a number of like scholarships and awards. What could you say about that? Because I think that's a really valuable skill and like applying for grants, like even now. So like, you know, what advice might you have for maybe emerging artists that are like, how do I get money to do this thing, or just keep their eye out for stuff? Like, what would you say?
You have to get used to being rejected. It's like, it's never fun, but it's like 99% rejection. So, you know, you got to fortify. There's so many resources out there now compared to when I first started out. There were quite a few that you could tap into, but there's a lot of resources now with like calls for submissions to artist-run centers and galleries and grants and public art calls and art festivals. So just applying to that, it's like, it doesn't hurt to apply. Once you get your little application package, you just tweak it for each one, send it away and hope. And, you know, I always just expect to be rejected. And then when I get accepted to something, I'm super excited.
Totally.
And yeah, I apply for tons of stuff all the time. And that's like how I've gotten every show, how I've gotten every award or any money.
Yeah, and it sounds like just that idea of like, you just got to start, like do it once. And then it sounds like you can maybe leverage that as you go for the next time and tweak it. But just doing it that first time sounds like maybe, yeah, was important.
Totally. And it's super awkward to like write about your art, and it feels, you know, you start doubting yourself super hard because you're like, well, I sound like a fool. Like, is any of this even true? What am I doing with my life? You just got to ignore that and just go with it. Just, you know, trust yourself that you're worthy of applying and getting it, and then eventually you'll get something. That's kind of my philosophy.
Yeah, if you keep shooting your shot, then you'll get something eventually.
Yeah, because if you don't apply, you definitely can't get it. So.
And I would be remiss if I did not touch on that idea of like rejection. You know, as an actor, it's a big part of the process. Yeah, you have to get okay enough with yourself that it doesn't impact you or impede you. You could be sad for a day, and, you know what I mean. But do you have any other thoughts or advice on how to get over rejection or embrace it in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I don't know about embracing it. I've just like decoupled it from my self-worth. I've tried to. There's been a couple times where I've, you know, had a cry where I'm like, I really wanted that and I didn't get it, and dang.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. They have such limited spots, so I never take it personally. It's like they have 4 spots to fill and they have 250 applications. So like the odds are so stacked against you. It's just keeping that in mind, I think, is important. But your first taste of success is, you know, it's like addicting. It's like a drug, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure some of those themes might come up again, but if we moved along, what would come next? Would it be your MFA, or was there something in between?
In between, I had a baby and my kid, which was fun. My sweetie, my greatest project. He doesn't like it if I call him that. But yeah, I had a kid. I had like a garden and chickens and like just living life, doing stuff. And it was kind of like, I didn't think I would get into my MFA right away when I applied. I applied to like 4 places with the dream of going to NSCAD in Halifax. I always wanted to go there because a lot of my mentors at the U of L had gone there, and I just, you know, wanted to live on the coast and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, when we moved out there, my son was 16 months old, so he was just a baby. But I didn't really anticipate getting in. So I thought, I was like, well, I'll apply, do the process, see how that goes, see how it feels, and then probably won't get in, so then I'll apply again. But then I did get in, so it kind of like called my bluff. I was like, okay, here we go.
Nice. Yeah, what was that process like? An MFA program? What was it like?
It wasn't what I expected it to be. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird to go to a new school, one that's only art focused, because I was just in an art program in a broad university, right? So it was like different vibe. And just the community there is different, not like Lethbridge, where Lethbridge everyone's like really inclusive, and you know, I'm not trying to bad talk Halifax. It's a great place and it was really fun, but it just was different. I thought it would be like, you know, I'd have all these friends and we'd all like bond and have this great time. And it wasn't totally like that because I had like a toddler at home.
Sure.
And so I would go home and, you know, do that stuff, and I couldn't just like stay in the studio all night with my peers and hang out or whatever. But it was great. I met a lot of interesting people, and I met a lot of people I didn't anticipate meeting. Like I went in with the sculpture program, but I ended up working a lot with this woman who was in the craft department and like craft history. And I just really clicked with her, and she was the best, Sandra Alfoldi. And she just like opened my mind to all these theories and all these ideas that I had never maybe been exposed to in a way. Like I had kind of thought them and didn't realize other people were also thinking them. And then it was awesome.
Nice. I'm picking up on like, is that like art history-esque, like concepts from like art history that you like, pivoted away from for your BFA? Or?
Yeah, I kind of really rejected like academia and BFA. I was like, no way. Like I just want to do only art. And then, you know, in the MFA, you have to contextualize yourself within art history and all this pressure to like academicize your work. And, you know, I think there's a lot of value in that. I think it can also be like muddling and get you like twisted up in this pursuit that maybe takes away from just like the pure creativity of it, because you're too in your head thinking like, well, why am I doing this? Like, what am I trying to get at here? Whereas now that I'm out of it this far, I've gone back to like, I'm just doing things because I want to. I don't have to justify it to anyone. I don't have to have a reason. I don't have to have a historical context that I'm hearkening back on. Like, it was really valuable and awesome. I thought of it as like a 2-year residency, basically, and it has allowed me to now be able to teach, which was kind of the goal of getting the MFA, because I always was like, well, I want to teach at the university. That seems like a wicked life, teaching art to people. So, yeah.
And then you mentioned that some of your like professors from university had gone there as well, and I guess one of the thoughts that comes to mind from that is just like, you know, like just that idea of like following in people's footsteps, but also carving your own path. Like, I don't know, but yeah. Do you feel as though you were following in footsteps and carving your own path? What's the distinction there for you, if any?
I'm not sure. I think it's kind of like an iconic art school in Canada. It's like maybe the iconic art school historically. So I was like, well, I got to go there and see what that's all about. Following in their footsteps, kind of being like, well, it formed these people into the awesome artists that they are. So like potentially that could help me too. Just like thinking of the lore of the school basically and being like attracted by that.
Right on. And then, yeah, you mentioned kind of coming out of that program and kind of maybe returning back to just like doing the things that you're drawn to and not having to contextualize everything maybe. So yeah, what came next after you got that?
I really kind of leaned into a lot of performance art projects after and kind of during the MFA and then after. So I did quite a few of those. I made this amazing 10-foot long garbage can. Like I wove this front panel, built the top. It kind of comes apart modularly. I had a couple of installations of it in Lethbridge, one in Galt Gardens downtown, and then one down in the river bottom at the, I can't think of the name of the.
Helen Schuler?
It was near Helen Schuler, but it's like by the playground. There's a
Okay.
picnic shelter. It has a name, but I can't think of it right
Yeah.
now. So down there, so then I did these like week-long performances where I would pick up trash in the area and like categorize it all and document it all. And then also do surveys and talk to people about trash and their feelings about trash and kind of different random questions. So I did that. What else?
Yeah, I mean, tell me a bit more about performance art. It's not something I'm a performer myself, but like what makes or constitutes performance art for you?
I think it's just like, to me, it's like activated art. I've kind of used it as a way to like I go in this character as the hobbyist. So then it's kind of like there's a sculptural component and then there's me like activating it with my actions, and like usually it's absurd, kind of almost clownish. So I went to this performance art festival in Seattle and I realized like I have a different view of performance art than maybe a lot of people that were more like theater-based-ish, where it is more like about the human expression and where mine is kind of more removed and it's more like about society or something. I don't know. So it's always been centered around garbage and trash and I don't know, fun, trying to just like create a weird situation to like put people off guard and then talk to them about waste and just see how people are feeling.
Interesting. We're running short on time, but there's so much more I want to talk to you about. Is there like a key example of like a reaction or a conversation that you had or that somebody had with your performance art?
Well, one of my favorite performances I've ever done, I did it in St. John's, Newfoundland, and then I did it recently in St. John in New Brunswick.
Okay.
But it's like a giant 6-foot inflatable ball, which is actually what this blob is made out of.
Love it. Is
the original ball. And then it's filled with plastic trash. And then I go in there and tumble around. So it's kind of like this hypothetical absurdist therapy called consumption therapy, where like this idea, if you had to be in your trash that you've generated, like would you think twice about generating trash? Probably, because it's overwhelming to be, smacked in the face as you're tumbling through a plastic ball filled with trash.
Yeah.
So doing that performance, people think it's hilarious. Like it's super funny and engaging. Kids love it. Like it just grabs people from all over, everywhere, because it is silly. And I think, I like to elicit that absurdity, humor, fun, playfulness with my artwork generally, and then with performance art specifically, because it's a way to like engage with people and talk to them and talk about trash. And people have different perspectives. People have told me all kinds of things, like they don't think about their garbage at all, and then some people are like, oh, I'm super concerned about it and I save all my yogurt containers and use them for this. And it's like just fun to talk to people about stuff like that. And there aren't many opportunities to just bring that up in day-to-day life, or people aren't willing to like get down and talk about that unless there's a weird situation prompting it.
Love it. Well, I love that you're able to kind of spark that and be the catalyst for those conversations. That's awesome. I know we are running out of time, but one question we do try to ask everybody is just how has creativity changed your everyday life?
I wouldn't be who I am without creativity. I try and do it every day in my cooking, in the way I dress, in the way I do everything in the world. Creativity is lifeblood for me. I think it's so valuable, especially now. I think it's becoming more and more valuable in our society to just be able to create something out of nothing or just add your own personal spin on something. I think it's important, and I hope more people, pursue creativity, because it is really rewarding. Even if you don't get accolades and whatever, it's like it's rewarding just on a personal day-to-day level.
Wonderful.
I love
awesome.
it.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful sentiment to end off on. So thank you so much for your time and energy. This has been Tell Us Story Hives on location in Lethbridge. I'm Daniel J. Perryman. This is my co-host,
Michael Bartz, and this is
Arianna Richardson. Goodbye.
Yes. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Tell Us Story Hives on location, Lethbridge, here at the McNally Community Center. I'm Michael. I make short films about the environment. I also make podcasts, and this is my co-host.
I'm Daniel J. Perryman, local theatre and filmmaker here in Lethbridge, Alberta, and today we have
Arianna Richardson, a sculptor and artist from Lethbridge.
Nice, yeah. Well, I really enjoyed your segments with Daniel, learning a bit about you as a person and, of course, your artistic journey. And I'm really excited for the showcase portion. We're going to kind of talk about, the pieces and maybe the stories behind them or how you do it, why you do it, stuff like that. So it'll be great. I think it's probably good to talk about it. Like, we've been sitting on this, what looks like kind of a cushion, and we have these pillows here. But they're not just any ordinary pillows. This is art. We're sitting on art right now. Maybe just tell me a bit about these pillows.
Okay. So this giant one I call the Blob. It was a piece I made for a show at CASA in 2022 or 1. I don't know. So it's filled with 5 years worth of plastic waste and artwork made with plastic that I didn't want anymore, but I couldn't throw away for reasons of guilt and whatever. Obsessive collection. So I made this as a like gallery seating for people to kind of come into the gallery and sit on while they look at the art. I love to make art that people can touch and interact with, because to me that's always what I want to do when I'm at a gallery, and I think it just like takes away that feeling of art is something that we never engage with physically. We can never touch it. It's too special. I just find that stifling. So I made all these pillows for my most recent show in Calgary at the New Gallery. There's 21 of them. They're all different and made using my knitting machine. It's like a vintage object I've learned how to use. And they're all filled with plastic waste. So they all make different sounds. I don't know if that will capture on video, but like that one's a good one.
Yeah.
They're all different. And the idea was they sit on a gigantic pillow that I made that's 6 feet by 7 feet. It's heart-shaped, and it is made with my old coil mattress and plastic waste that I collected from my job at the SAG as a preparator, like bubble wrap and shrink wrap and stuff like that, and thrift store fabric. It's like my greatest masterpiece to date, I would say. I think that about everything though. But it had these 21 pillows on top of it. So then in the gallery, people could come and sit on the bed and play with the pillows and kind of just like experience them more physically than just looking at them, because it is important that you can pick them up. They're all different weights. Some of them have beads. Some of them have like fuzzy texture. It's all yarn from the thrift store and plastic from the SAG and from my life as well. Clean plastic. I always keep clean plastic packaging because there's so much plastic waste that we encounter that is not even dirty or gross, and it just goes in the garbage. And I try not to do that. So I've been able to like fill multiple objects with all the plastic I've collected. So yeah, that's these.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Yeah, and, I love that idea of just like interacting with the art too, right? That it's because I had that experience like everyone at a gallery. You just kind of look at it and move on. And so did you by chance, I don't know, see people actually interacting with the art when you were there?
Yeah, totally. And just people get really excited when they're like, I can actually touch it, because it's so tactile and it's textiles, and we're so familiar with textiles and we know how they feel. So then to not be able to touch them is like, it just feels extra constricting maybe. So people are just like giddy, squeezing them, touching them, being like, that one's my favorite. No, that one's my favorite. It's just really fun to see people engaging with it. And people are always really respectful, and like nothing's ever gotten wrecked. It's, it's fine.
Yeah, and I feel like just seeing these here, like they're still quite durable too, right? It's not a fragile piece of pottery or something you could break.
Yeah. Like my kid just hammers this with his wrestling moves when he comes in here. It's like indestructible.
Yeah, no, it's quite solid. It's quite hard. And I guess you said that you felt that way about all your pieces, like that heart-shaped bed. It's kind of your masterpiece. Like, what do you feel is different about that piece?
That piece, I labored on it forever. Like, it took me months and months to make. Like, even just conceptualizing it, because I bought a new bed, and my old bed.
A new bed? What?
I bought a new bed. Yeah. So then I was like, my old bed was they were like, oh, for $50, we'll take it to the dump. And I was like, actually, I kind of want it because I want to make this giant pillow. And that seems like an amazing source of filling for my pillow. And then I just like went at it and cut it apart. And it was really unexpected. I've never cut into a mattress before. I didn't know what all the layers were. It was very interesting. So it took me a long time to like figure out how I was going to actually do it. And then just months of these steps, like making it, it's modular, so it comes apart, so I can ship it and drive it places. Yeah. And it just, I'm really proud of it because it took me so long to make, and I really like thought it all out, planned it all out, and then executed it and just crushed it. And it's beautiful. And it's gorgeous.
Nice, yeah, it's great, yeah. And so like, kind of what led to that piece? Was there a certain vision you had from the start to make it the heart shape bed, or did that kind of come up?
No, I wanted to make a giant heart-shaped bed, and I don't remember when I thought of it or when I wanted to do it. I just had to do it.
Yeah, fair, yeah. And what was that like? Like you mentioned, like you've never cut into a mattress before, but yeah, what was that experience like?
It was weird, and a lot of unexpected materials, and it was really cool to kind of see that demystified. Like the coils are all individually wrapped in like a shopping bag material, and they're all heat sealed together, so it was actually pretty easy to deal with the coils. But there's like layers of this weird, almost seemed like factory clippings from a textile factory that were like all pressed into a material. There's all these weird glues, so sometimes I was like, oh, am I getting toxic exposure from this like crumbling foam and weird glue? Just part of the game.
Yeah.
If you want to reuse materials, you got to kind of be willing to accept certain risks or like unexpected, weird, gross things.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
so desensitized.
Fair, yeah. No, I just find that interesting, especially like a mattress too, right? Because it's something that we just, you generally just use, and it's covered up, and then you throw it away, and you don't really look at what's inside unless you make a mattress. So, I find that really interesting. Kind of just behind, especially even these, right? It's like you'd think they would be soft, but then they're not. So you kind of, playing with that idea. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And so that modular piece, like, was that a planned thing, or did you decide that later on that you wanted to need to move this thing?
It was planned because I made this originally, this thing, and it's a beast. Like I could technically take the cover off, take the stuff out, and put it in separate bags and ship it that way, but that's like a huge pain. It kind of is just one big thing, and it's really hard to move, and it's heavy, but I wanted to make another giant pillow, but I thought I need to make this smarter so I can actually take it somewhere and show it to other people and make it easier to store. Like it's all just in my little storage room now, packed up all nice. Whereas this thing, I just kind of have to live with it because it's just big and in the way. So I didn't want to make another big, cumbersome object. I needed to make something that I personally could move by myself if I needed to.
That makes sense. Very practical. Yeah. And that was something I was thinking about, was like, you talk about you collect plastic, other things, like, do you have to store that in a certain way to keep it organized, or how does that, so you're not a hoarder, hopefully?
Yeah.
Do you have a process around that?
Totally, I do. And I've recently had to stop collecting so much plastic. People are always like, hey, I have this bunch of stuff, do you want it? And I've recently put a moratorium on that and been like, no, I can't, it's overwhelming. So just kind of navigating that, because it is a lot. And if you start collecting all your waste, it adds up super quickly. And I try not to create waste, and I try really hard, and I still end up creating a lot. And just encountering a lot, and just trying to mitigate that guilt that I feel when I do throw something away. Because I see the use value in things really strongly. It's hard to turn it off.
I'm sure, yeah. Especially if you're digging into mattresses and other things. Interesting, yeah. Yeah, I guess that, like that one performance piece that you had where you're in the ball and the plastic, just bringing awareness to people's how much plastic they're using, and it's can be overwhelming.
And I've done that. Excuse me. I've done that, across the country, super far away. So I actually got the galleries there to collect plastic from themselves, from the people who work there and from people who go to the gallery. So kind of, shipping a bunch of plastic across the country is super absurd. So, and I need a lot to fill that bowl.
True.
So
Must be local,
be
fair
smart.
trade plastic.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And we're going to stay on the theme of pillows for a little bit. There is a pillow behind us. This is pig one that says, no, tell me about this piece. Feel free that we have an image so you can just talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called No Forever and on and on. Excuse me. No, for me, is a phrase I keep coming back to in my sculptures and in my work. I think there's so much to say no to in our society. Everyone has their own set of things they would like to say no to and maybe can't, or wish they would have said no, or all these things. And I think it's just a phrase people can relate to. It's something I want to say to myself, like, no, it's okay to say no to things. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to collect every piece of plastic that you see because you feel bad. You can say no to that. Say no to the rampant waste. Say no to all the wars, all the hatred and bigotry in the world. It's like it's endless. So that for me is kind of that piece. Maybe you're showing a picture of it, so I don't have to keep pointing at it. But I just embroidered that with my sewing machine, and just the process of, I like to do a lot of repetitive things and like very detailed, tedious processes when I'm making my work. Typically, it's always involving this like really laborious, time-consuming thing, and it gives me a lot of time to think about everything, but kind of what I'm trying to process, usually, feelings of powerlessness or like extreme worry about the state of the world, trying to like work through that and mitigate it through creating objects. And I think this no forever on and on is a good example of that, because it just is like the repeating phrase on and on, almost like a mantra.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it's really probably resonates with a lot of people for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting about the also the process that when you're actually making the piece, that it's also a bit of that called therapy for you as well, and then to work through those feelings. So.
It totally is a therapy, and it's been documented that like working with your hands is a way to work through like PTSD and work through like heavy emotions, because it's like, I don't know exactly the science on it, but it's like a connecting your brain in different ways and creating different pathways around these ideas.
Yeah, and even that idea of like that repetitive motion too, right? Like, so it seems like your mind is able to kind of go elsewhere and process those feelings and thoughts, and while you're working on that. So
totally.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that really mind-body connection. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. We have more pillows. There are many pillows to talk about. There's, I guess they're called the trophy pillows. Is that what it's called?
Well, they're called, it has kind of a long title. It's part of a series called Time I Spent, Time I Wasted.
Sure. Tell me about those pillows.
So they're on trophies, and their kind of set is called Distinguished Efforts. So I'm really obsessed with pillows. I made a whole show of only pillows, and we're on pillows. I'm planning to make more pillows. It's just like kind of, I get really into themes and things. Like I was really into garbage cans for a while. Now I'm into pillows. So the trophy pillows, Distinguished Efforts, I made the pillows, and then I was thinking of how to display them. And I just had this idea to put them on trophy bases and make them like these weird, absurd trophies. Because you see trophies at the thrift store all the time. And my mom-in-law has a dance studio for like 40 years, and she has like hundreds of trophies that are just in storage. So it's another like endless resource. And they're really cool objects. So I just really wanted to incorporate some trophy pieces because they're modular and come apart, and it's really exciting. All the little bits and bobs. A lot of what I think about is like facade and surface and superficiality, and kind of the way that decoration and textiles work within that idea. And trophies are kind of a good embodiment of that. They're like plastic coated in shiny gold, so they're like cheap and like just everywhere, but they're meant to be special. So I like them for that reason. And yeah, I just devised this really weird mounting system and put it in the pillow and put it on this trophy. And the time I spent, time I wasted is this obsession I have of doing pairs. So I make like a set of 2 and I try to make them as identical as I can by hand. So there's always little imperfections, but I try to make them identical. One says time I spent and one says time I wasted. Because I think it's pretty arbitrary, like depending who's looking at what you're doing, they could think you're spending your time wisely or they could think you're wasting your time. And sometimes I think I'm wasting my time. Sometimes I think I'm spending my time. It's like, it just depends. It's so arbitrary. I think there's a lot of different levels like interfacing with that tell you what you're doing is a waste of time or what you're doing is like valuable. You could be doing the same exact task, but depending where, when you're doing it, it can be valued completely differently. So that's what that series is about. And I've made probably like 7 iterations of it. And I plan to make more. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, and I mean I'm sure that resonates with a lot of people. Time they've spent or time they've wasted, and yeah. Even just societal expectations or there's so many things there that. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Even I don't want to go back too far to it, but even the trophies thing, right? Thinking about that, even how like that's something maybe it's superficial, but maybe that's something like special for someone, but it's not special for you because it was their trophy, it was their accomplishment. And yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but like some of your work also is around like the kind of the stories behind those things, or you're interested in that, right?
Yeah, I'm really interested in material history and like the way that objects can kind of contain histories and like we can tap into it. Even if it's all in my head when I look at something and I just can imagine like a whole life that it's had, or even just the life it's had in its own creation, like the raw materials that were mined out and then they were made in a factory and then they were shipped somewhere and sold in a store and purchased and used and then discarded to the thrift store. And then, it's like endless. You can think any object anywhere can be kind of like this endless source of wonder to me. Even something stupid like a little junky piece of plastic from the end of a balloon. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's something someone designed, someone made, someone bought, someone used. It has value and it has history. So it's fun to think about.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice, yeah. I think that is all the time we have for this segment. It's very short.
Yeah.
We can't talk too long about pillows, but you talk forever. But
yeah.
It's been a really great to learn a bit about your artistic practice and see what you do. So thanks so much for the conversation, Arianna.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so this has been the Tell Us Story Hive on location here in Lethbridge at McNally Community Center. I'm Michael. I make short films and podcasts about environmental stuff. And this is my co-host.
I'm Daniel J. Perryman, local theater and filmmaker. And this has been
Arianna Richardson. I make pillows in Lethbridge.
There we go. Thanks so much for watching.